You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 473 of Podketeers. This week we talk about the launch of Threads, we get a peek into the upcoming Deadpool 3 film, and talk about an interesting theory that we heard. We give our thoughts on the Wonka trailer, scalpers attempt to sell Oogie Boogie Bash tickets for 4 times their original cost, Andrew gives us his thoughts on Rogers the Musical after a recent parks visit. In a surprise, but not really a surprise announcement, the Disney company has extended Bob Iger's contract through 2026. And of course, our Disney history segment, Great Moments with Mr. Andrew, continues with 1977 and 1978. We'd love for you to join the conversation on our social networks, including Instagram and Facebook, but we invite you to join us on Discord. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/links and click on the Discord button to join our community. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content that we've uploaded to Patreon, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. So that's it. It's time to get the episode going. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoyed the episode and that you come back for more. But of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 473 of Podketeers.
Pretty loud.
Right?
I had a big loud clap.
Even with the internet delay, I think we nailed it on that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everybody clap your hands. Can you go down low? No, I'm not going to sing just the cha-cha
I got bad
slide
knees. I
just
can't
for-
do that. I got bad knees. I can't do that, man. Hey, so stuff happened this week. We're going to be talking about it later on in the episode. We were a little delayed in recording this week, and I'm not going to say that we delayed the episode because we may have gotten a tip that some big news was going to drop the day the episode was releasing, and we wanted to hear what the news was in order to record our response to said news. But if that's how you want to interpret it, that may be what happened. So here we are.
I was going to say that usually happens since the news likes to drop on a specific day after we recorded. So, hey, we caught on for once.
And if there was a tip that maybe that news was pretty big and we waited, I'm not going to say it. But here we are, right?
Yeah.
Recording a little later in the week because of that news. So we're going to be getting into that a little bit later in the episode. But, hey, how about them threads, huh?
Yeah. Lovely threads.
Yeah. Mel, I think of the three of us, you have been the one to embrace threads the most so far. And I think you had a good take on it and why. Would you mind sharing that perspective with everybody?
Yeah, totally. Well, one, I have not played certain games like Dreamlight Valley because I'm on threads all the time now. But for a week, it's already been a week, actually, today, I have been finding myself finding a good crowd, like a good vibe. And when I say that, it's like a lot of people are feeling not the burnout, but the fact that we could post anything, the fact that there's no DMs, there's no hashtags, there's no pressure, there's no stress. So when you hear that from other people, you start connecting with them. And the coolest thing is having to find people that you didn't know existed on Instagram, which is weird. It's like, huh? It has been chill. I could post memes. I could post GIFs. I could post GIFs, not GIFs. Woo!
No, they're GIFs.
Caught myself.
They're GIFs. No, they're GIFs. The creator
yes.
actually called them GIFs. Yeah, you're right.
Nope,
you're right.
I think you were right the first time
Oh
because
boy,
I say
what did I do?
GIF. I believe that the creator is wrong. But
Well,
anyway,
I believe.
and a thing called love.
That's
Aw.
right.
So yeah.
Anyway, continue, Melissa.
It's okay. Pretty much engagement is like ridiculous and fantastic at the same time. Like, you don't even have to do much and you're getting people's attention and you're talking and you're connecting, and yeah, it's awesome. But I had to, okay, so let me explain the first day, because I didn't know it existed until you told me about it, Hazen. And I'm like, sure, let me go ahead and sign up. I have no clue what I'm doing, right? So I sign up and I'm like, what is this? I've never jumped on a social media platform on the first day. So this was pretty exciting, I guess you want to say. And mostly everyone's first post was so funny and awkward because no one knows what to say or what to do or the direction or anything like that. And I'm like, you know what? In my head, I'm like, I'm not going to have rules. I'm not going to keep it to where it's brand only. No, Instagram already has that for me. Facebook already has that for me. I'm just going to let go. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to post stuff that I can't post anywhere else because, you know, it's the algorithm, blah, 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 blah. So here's my chance to kind of start things up and let's go. Let's see what this, and it was chaotic. It was chaotic because, again, no one knew what to do. I was already muting accounts. I'm like, I don't want to see this. If I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. And it's been good. So after a week, I see different artists, small shops, cats, dogs, memes, theme park, Disney. I don't see other stuff. I really don't. I don't really want to see politics as much. I don't want to see I want to see silliness. I want to see unhinged. I want to see, like, just relax, kick your feet, like, just relax, you know? And that's been kind of the mood with a lot of people, especially small shops, because we've been under so much pressure since, you know, the pandemic to just do what we can to survive. So the feeling has been like, you know what, your art's cool, let's chime in on it. This is cool, let's chime in on it. Let's just keep going, and we build each other up, and we're getting noticed by other people. I have a feeling, this is so sad to say, so I gave up on being like, I'm gonna try to grow on Instagram. I may grow faster on Threads than on Instagram, and I've already surpassed TikTok. So I feel like this is the platform for me. Like, I'm able to be stupid on there if I wanted to, and it's okay. So that's been kind of like the mood so far.
Right on. Andrew, aside from Ted Danson, what have you found Threads to be good for?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of strange. So I went to the parks for a few days. So I kind of did Threads, and then I was off most stuff. So I haven't really been on it a ton, but I posted quite a few funny songs. I'll talk about every once in a while the Macho Man Randy Savage's album or Bruce Willis or what else, other things. So I've been posting some of the weird music that I think is fun over there. I don't know. I'm not a huge poster of things. Over the pandemic, I challenged myself, and I was like, I have hundreds of thousands of photos just I've collected over the years. I'm going to post one a day. I'm going to post a weird one. It was either a weird photo or a good photo or bad photo or something. I had little categories, but after I went back to work, it was kind of harder to do any of that, and it's whatever. If I'm not really the needs to have followers kind of guy, I'm not trying to build a shop or whatever. So maybe I should start one for Quizneyland and see if that I can take that off more. I don't know, but Threads seems to be like what Melissa was saying. It's a more chill place at the moment. Everybody can see their your number, what number you were when you joined Threads.
Yeah.
They put that on your Instagram now, so I'm number 3 million something person who joined Threads.
Is it on our Instagram now?
I think so.
Oh yeah, I see it.
So
we
yeah,
made
it's
the 5 million mark then.
yeah, before 5 million. I'm 3 million something, I think. Anyway, so it was, it's an interesting thing. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's definitely kind of very basic at the moment. That doesn't have a lot of fat, I guess. It doesn't have a lot of features. It doesn't have, you kind of just post and it kind of just goes out there and somehow some people see it. I don't get it. They got an algorithm from the was that Space Jams in there, sending it out to people. I don't know how I'm seeing half this stuff. They just they create what I see on Threads, I guess, based on who knows. So it's interesting to see where this is going to go, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, both of you brought up like a handful of key things about Threads right now, right? So I'm still trying to figure out where I fall with Threads because I wasn't a big fan of Twitter. Like, I've never been big on Twitter, even when before it became the cluster mess that it is now. So, like, I gravitated to Instagram originally because back when I signed up, I was learning photography and I liked posting all the photos that I was taking. And then as I kind of began to grow as a photographer, I expanded to doing a lot of park photos. And like to a certain extent, it was good because I was able to get feedback. And before the algorithm got completely destroyed, it was fun posting photos on Instagram. And when that stopped being fun, for instance, Facebook, I left a long time ago. Like, I have it because it's connected to the business accounts. Like, you can't, like, at the time, you couldn't have a business page or a page for, like, we couldn't have a Podketeers page if I didn't have a personal Facebook, or I couldn't have, like, when I was doing photography, like paid gigs in photography, I had a Facebook photography page where people could reach me, and I couldn't have that business page without a personal page. So I couldn't just eliminate my personal Facebook page. And so Instagram just kind of became the place, right? TikTok, when I first started, playing around with the app, it was more just to kind of watch people do silly things. It was just to watch the silly dances and the challenges and all that stuff. And then, the algorithm began to know me, and then it started feeding me all the stuff that I like to watch. And so now I have an abundance of videos that I like to watch on TikTok, right? But I don't post on TikTok. So posting to the Podketeers account, we have some ideas about what we're going to do with a Podketeers TikTok. But, we're still working out the logistics of TikTok for us. Threads was really interesting because it promised to be what Twitter was originally to a lot of people. And I think part of the reason that it gained so much traction like really early on is because whenever you join any type of new network, you were talking about it right now, Mel, that with TikTok, you've been like doing so great on TikTok, posting a lot of the projects that you're working on, like almost like DIYs or like step-by-steps of some of the stuff that you're doing, right? Right. But you're starting from scratch. That's the problem. And what Meta did with Threads was they tied it into your Instagram account, and so you had instant discoverability because it was already using this pre-built audience that you had on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's bad. One of the things that I've been trying to keep track of with Threads is Threads isn't approved in the EU right now. And when things don't get approved in the EU, I tend to pay attention a little bit more because they have better cybersecurity than the US does when it comes to apps and stuff like that. And so if something isn't approved in the EU, I usually try to pay attention to why and why it can be harmful in the US. There's a lot of terms and conditions stuff that Meta likes to throw into their apps. You know, in general, it's exciting because they're promising that it's going to be a part of something called the Fediverse, which is this new type of network that was created that's not necessarily grounded in any one company. Other platforms like Mastodon use it, and so it's more open source and it can be kind of vetted by the public instead of any like one company the way that a lot of these networks are now. So I think that's what excited a lot of people about it. But then obviously Meta threw in all of their, well, you know, if you post anything or if you're being a content creator, we own this in perpetuity and we can use it to remix it for this and use it wherever we want for advertisements. And I'm like, do we really want to give Meta just more of that? Like they already have it everywhere else, right? They have Instagram, they have the Facebook stuff that you post. So that almost instantly made me take a step back. And then the fact that it is not as feature-rich as some of the other apps, you know, there's no search bar, there's no discoverability, there's no hashtags yet. I'm adding hashtags. I've added them to a couple of the posts because I feel like whenever there are hashtags, they're just going to be there and they're going to come in handy at some point. But I did take into consideration, because we had this conversation off the podcast, right? We were talking about how we wanted to use this. And I remember you said, just let loose on this one. Just don't worry about it. Because I feel like with Instagram, I feel like I got bottled in to being like a Disney photographer, you know? And even though I started with posting things about other projects that I was working on, events that I was attending, and just other interests in general, you know, I've talked a lot about, you know, creating like these short little YouTube videos and clips of, or maybe shorts of some of the card decks that I like to collect. Like, and I figure that maybe Threads is going to be that place where I don't have to take things that seriously. I feel like on other networks, we like Podketeers is its own brand, right? Like we follow certain guidelines when we post and when we create content for Podketeers. Like me as a photographer, when I was doing things professionally and getting paid for stuff, I followed certain guidelines, you know, and a certain professional set of things that I followed, you know, to keep that brand intact. But it all kind of tied back to me, right? And so I wouldn't post things that I felt weren't, I hate to say it like this, but they weren't like brand compliant, right?
Or
because
on
it
brand.
just felt like it broke, or on brand, right? So I feel like this might be the place. Like one other thing that still worries me a little bit about Threads is that I don't know how many people have paid attention to this or if you intend on doing it, but be careful. If you find that Threads isn't for you, make sure that you end up deactivating your account in the settings and not delete your Threads account, because since it is directly tied into your Instagram account, it will also delete your Instagram account.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
if you find that Threads is not for you, there is a way to simply deactivate your account. Take that route. Do not delete it, because your Instagram account will also go along with it. So, but yeah, I mean, I've posted a couple of game things, and I've posted a couple of photos of decks of cards that I've gotten that I've really enjoyed in the last couple of weeks. So that's probably what it's going to be for now. I haven't figured it out. I know I shouldn't think too hard about it, but you guys know me. That's not my nature. So
yeah, it could be hard. It could be hard doing that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'll keep playing around with it. I know that there's a couple of things that I've been wanting to post, but I don't think they warrant a whole like YouTube channel or anything, like the playing cards, right? That's the thing.
Right.
I don't plan on doing full deck reviews or anything like that. I just want to share a couple of photos or a short little 5-minute clip of the card spinning around or something to show people what it looks like. Like, can that be a YouTube short? Yeah, maybe. But maybe this is the platform where I just kind of get to show that other side of me that I don't really get to show on other networks. Some people would argue that that's what TikTok should be. But I don't know. Like, I feel like TikTok has evolved to a lot more commentary outside of the general, like, like jokey videos and dances. Like, it's evolved into so much more than what it used to be, right? So I don't know if I want to do all of that with it right now. So we'll see. Stay tuned. But for now, I'm just enjoying what people are posting. Like you said, Andrew, there's no rhyme or reason to anyone's like who you're seeing in your feed. But I have had an opportunity to discover some amazing artists, some great musicians. I saw an interview or like a clip for an interview with what is the guy's name? I've never heard of this guy. He's really big on YouTube. Jay Shetty is his name. He interviewed Tom Holland. And so I saw a picture of like them sitting together, like interviewing, and he came up on my feed. I was like, oh, this is fun. And like Tom Holland was talking about like mental health and like overcoming social anxiety and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, that sounds like an interesting listen, right? So I listened to the episode. It was like 2 hours long, but it was a great conversation. And it was crazy to me that 5 minutes into that conversation, Tom Holland says, oh, you know what I like to do? Like right before I go to sleep, if I can't sleep, I watch this guy named Chris Ramsey on YouTube. I was like, oh, I watch Chris Ramsey. Like he solves puzzles and he's a magician and he like does card stuff too. Like he owns decks and he creates decks. I own his decks. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like Spider-Man. I'm just like Spider-Man. So it was one of those moments where my worlds collide and just makes me happy. Right. And that was it was on Threads. So there you go. Like already bringing me happiness in a way that other social networks haven't been able to in quite some time.
Right. Oh, one thing. Don't be afraid to mute people. And if you block someone, you will be blocking them on Instagram as well. So I thought that was brilliant.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah. I've had to do that
Good
already.
to know. Right on. All right. Well, if you are on Threads, make sure to follow us. If you follow us on Instagram, it's the same username if you want to see some of the other shenanigans that we're up to and that we'll be posting. Like we said earlier, of the three of us, Mel is the most active, but she's got the most interesting content, right? She's always creating cool new things. The other day, she got me so interested in the fact that she was trying to create a pink and sparkly version of the Hatbox Ghost. And although your experiments didn't pan out, I know that it's going to work out. You're going to make it happen. And damn it, if you can make it glow in the dark, so much better.
Right. I'm trying. That's the beauty of this. You see all the boo-boos.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk a little bit of movies before we jump into some park stuff. Oh, actually, before we do that, can we send a quick shout out to Larry and Rebecca for reaching 4,000 subs on YouTube?
Nice.
Yay!
Hooray.
Congratulations to Goofy Guys Adventures. They've spent the last year doing the live streams twice a week, and it's paid off. A lot of their hard work going to the parks. If you're not following Goofy Guys Adventures on YouTube, you can find a link by going to podketeers.com/links. Just make sure that you go and give Larry a follow and check out some of the videos that they've posted or that they post. Usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Occasionally there'll be a streaming from the parks as well. So, yeah, follow them. It's a good time. Okay, so a couple of movie things that I wanted to bring up here. Mel, you posted this picture of the Marvel universes colliding. What's the picture that I think started to break the internet this week?
Oh, it's a beautiful picture. Um, it is the beautiful picture of Deadpool and Wolverine in his yellow and blue suit that we know him from. Ooh, he looks good in it. Yes. Oh my gosh. After that, it's like, yes, they broke the internet. You saw memes come out. There's one of Wolverine looking at the picture, and it's just him in that suit. And it's like, can we please have that happen in Deadpool 3, please? That would be epic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looks great. And even Deadpool has a new suit. So I don't know too much about it. Yeah.
It's like a much brighter red now.
Yeah. It's not as desaturated or dark.
Muted. Yeah.
Yeah. But seeing Hugh Jackman in that, yes.
That's a huge Ackman.
It is.
Yeah, that was an interesting photo. Again, as I was on TikTok, I think it was Straw Hat Goofy that was talking about like his theory about how this is all connected and what the photo actually means. And I kind of like the theory actually, because he said that he believed. So in the last, okay, let me try to wrap it all together here. If you remember in the last film, Deadpool time travels, right? And so in this one, apparently Owen Wilson is being credited in this film, and he's being credited as Morbius.
Oh.
So like the theory is that the TVA will be involved because he will be trying to catch Deadpool as he travels through dimensions and time and stuff, meeting up with versions of the Fox Marvel Universe. And so Elektra is also set to be coming back. Jennifer Garner,
that's
it looks
right.
like she's going to be reprising her role as Elektra. So if Deadpool goes around, the theory that Straw Hat Goofy posed is there is a storyline, I believe it's called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. His theory is that it's Marvel kills the Fox Marvel Universe. And so that's how they integrate, that's how they put an end to all of the Fox films, and they don't need to continue that lineage, but they leave it as legacy, right? And so it's now part of the multiverse, basically, because that's what Deadpool is going to make canon if that pans out. And so you can bring all these characters, we get to say goodbye to them, you know, in a proper form, and we can move on with the current version of the MCU, the Disney version of the MCU.
I like that. I do. That's a good way to separate everything, but yet make it cohesive. That's brilliant. Yeah. So I hope that's the way that it pans out. I mean, when he started describing it, I just started gushing. I'm like, dude, this is like the best they could do, because they could bring all them back. They could bring, the Fantastic Four characters, and we've already kind of seen Quicksilver, in WandaVision, and so we already saw that the barrier broke, right? So, I mean, it makes the most sense, right? So I'm for this. I like that.
They should bring back Edward Norton as the Hulk just for a little bit in there, too. Why not?
Okay, so I'm glad you said that, because it's interesting that they just added the Ed Norton version of the Hulk to Disney+.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's too far-fetched for us to see Ed Norton's Hulk in this film.
Who was the other one that was the Hulk, the first Hulk movie they did?
Timothy Chalamet.
No, not him. I don't
Eric
like
Bana,
him.
I believe.
Yes, Eric Bana, that's right. Not this like 27-year-old
Timothée
14-year-old.
Chalamet.
Yes, no, not him. If he was the Hulk, I would just give up on the MCU, I think.
But CG, man, he'll turn into a CG Hulk.
They lost their way. Hello, friends. I am the Hulk. I'm Timothy Chalamet. Bap, 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 bap. I don't know.
So speaking of Timothy Chalamet, we're going to keep with the movies a little bit. I want to ask, what are your thoughts on the new Wonka trailer?
I've only seen it once, and I think it's charming. Now, we did talk about it a little bit before recording, and I didn't know it was a prequel. I didn't know that. I didn't get that. So, that's different. That's really different because the original is it's just so unique. That Wonka, Gene Wilder, is just unique. One thing I will say is I don't like Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa. I just don't. I think he's so creepy. And and to say that he's creepy, and I liked, Tim Burton's, because that's weird and stuff. That Oompa Loompa, they weren't creepy. I don't know. I just think he is. It's like, no.
I mean, he looks exactly like the Oompa Loompas in the Willy Wonka, or in the Gene Wilder one. They did a good job on that, for sure.
But it's just
I mean, other
weird.
than he's like much smaller than the Oompa Loompas in the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka are played by little people and I think children at some point too. And in this movie, he's like a 1.5 feet tall in a jar.
He's like a garden gnome height, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like very, very small.
like pocket size.
Yeah.
So maybe Willy Wonka makes them enlarging chocolate and makes them like twice the size, but it's still not. I don't know. Anyway, that's
interesting.
It gets me into my thoughts, which are, I don't know how big a fan I am of this Mr. Chalamet. The rest of the cast looks great. I like the idea of it. Kind of looks like, Willy Wonka's this down on his luck chocolatier and has big dreams of making his chocolate world renowned and whatever, blah, 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 getting to the Wonka that we know. I think the idea is there, and I'm sure plenty of people, plenty of people like this Timothy Chalamet guy. I don't know. I don't think I do. I think at least based on this trailer, he seems like he's not putting any sauce on it. Like, it's just kind of like, if I was to be like in my normal voice, well, hello, I'm Willy Wonka and I'm here and my chocolate is great and come buy my chocolate. That's how it feels like in this trailer. Well, hello, folks, I'm Willy Wonka. Where's the pizzazz? Where's the, theater? Where's the, the Willy Wonka we know, the Gene Wilder one, is like insane. He is, to use a word you used before, Melissa, unhinged in
Yes.
that movie. And even when like you see different sides of the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka, because he's playing a part in some of it, and then there's the actual, spoiler alert if you've never seen the Willy Wonka movie from the 70s, but that's your own dang fault if you haven't. But when Charlie gets the factory at the end, it's kind of like, okay, he's brought down the whole act is done. And, he's like, Charlie, you did it. And now he's all excited and stuff. And you can tell there's still like a lot of like stuff in his voice and da-da-da-da-da. And I know this is just a trailer, so I can't base the whole movie off of it. But if this is like the parts that they picked to be excited for Mr. Chalamet as Willy Wonka, I think they didn't do a very good job. I don't know. But I'll probably see the movie anyway. The rest of the cast looks great. I like that guy from Downton Abbey. He's got a great voice. I think he's the one narrating the trailer. So yeah, I'm tepid on the trailer, but hopefully it's good. And I'm not a big fan of this young-looking man. He's very. He looks like he's 14 years old, and he's like almost 30.
He is very young looking in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel totally different about this. I I mean, I hope I'm not wrong, but I actually really like the trailer because you said it yourself. At the end of the movie, there's an aspect of Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka where he drops the act, right? And it's then when you notice that Willy Wonka was a character that this chocolatier was playing. And for me, I think it might make a little more sense because I've watched wrestling my entire life. And so for me, guys like The Rock and Steve Austin, their characters are just an amped up version of themselves, right? If they're like a 5 or a 6, their wrestling character is just a 14 version of themselves. Willy Wonka is a 14 version of whatever the chocolatier that created this company was in the Gene Wilder film. And so this film, to me, there's a line in there where like his mom is telling him in the trailer, like, go off and do something, go do your best or go do something great or something like that. I forgot the line, but like he just looks out into something and he says, here we go, mama. You know, like saying like, we're doing this, right? And so there's aspects of Willy Wonka, there's aspects of the magic and the wonder that we know Willy Wonka to bring to the table, but this is the beginning of that character. This is where it came from. Like, he hasn't formed the character yet. He's just this kid who knows how to make chocolate and has this, like, magical way of making it delicious. And he's going to ruin the chocolate mafia that rules, you know, chocolate and wherever
the chocolate
he lives
cartel.
And stuff. Oh, the chocolate cartel,
That's what the word
right?
they use.
Yeah. So I'm going to need a shirt or something that says chocolate mafia now.
Chocolate.
So,
yeah, exactly.
like, I kind of like it. And if that's what it turns into, I really hope that in the film they're able to really build upon that. And at the end of the film, we kind of see the zanier version. I hate to say it like this, but Gene Wilder's version of Willy Wonka is so Mad Hatter, you know, that in this one, he hasn't gone mad yet. You know, and if Timothée Chalamet can pull off becoming the Mad Hatter version of Willy Wonka by the end of this prequel, I'll be content with that. I think it'll be a really good, you know, origin story of who Willy Wonka eventually became.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping. Yeah. I'm sorry, Andrew. No, I'm just hoping that we see, like, the build of sarcasm as well, because there was a lot of that.
Oh yeah.
So I was kind of like wondering, okay, how is he's really charming and very no pun intended sweet, but how do you get from there to there? So I'm curious. I really am. I just hope there's sarcasm somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing that like kind of is throwing me through a loop is I've been having this trailer play and I'm kind of watching it as we're talking here, and there's a lot of stuff that is like, here's the zany crazy Willy Wonka, we're flying with balloons and making people do this, and there's a giraffe running around and there's all this stuff, and that is all things that I would imagine the you know, character Willy Wonka to be doing. I think the biggest problem I'm having with it right now is it must just be the energy of the acting. I don't know. I'm so picky and it's very annoying and everybody hates it, I'm sure. But it just seems like I don't know. Sometimes you can tell, like, in movies, like, this actor didn't really want to be there, and so they're kind of phoning it in and stuff. And I don't want to say that's what's going on, but it kind of feels like it, like in some of this stuff that I'm seeing. And granted, like I said before, this is just the trailer. We haven't seen the whole movie. You don't know. Like, I hope it's great. I love Willy Wonka as a character. I love that Gene Wilder movie and all the things that make it, you know, absurd and crazy and fun and a classic movie. But I don't know what I'm saying here. I hope it's better than what
you're saying
I
makes
view
sense.
the trailer as. You know, what I'm seeing in the trailer, I hope it's better, which, I mean, is things I hope for any movie. If the trailer is this, I hope it's even better. That, you know, hopefully don't give away all the tricks in the trailer. But the rest of the cast looks great. It has a whole bunch of fun people in it, so I'm excited for all of them as well. Downton Abbey guy and Keegan-Michael Key and other guy. I think I saw is that the guy from the Sweet Life and Zack and Cody? I think Maitre D guy is in here. I don't know. There's all kinds of people in this movie. That Rowan Atkinson, all looks great. So here's hoping. I don't know.
You're a wizard, Wonka.
Oh yes, by the creators of Harry Potter or something, or producers or whatever.
And Paddington. Don't forget Paddington.
I never seen Paddington, so I will forget him.
I liked it. You know what this reminds me of? It does remind me less of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I don't know if either of you ever saw it, but did you ever watch Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium with Dustin Hoffman and Natalie Portman?
No.
It's very this. If you watch it, like it's not. It was a fun movie. Like I don't know. I saw it like years ago with the kids, but it's a fun movie. It's not like the greatest story ever told, but his entire toy shop is like enchanted, and it's a very Wonka-esque shop. There's a lot of magical elements and stuff like that to it, but a lot of what happens in the Wonka trailer reminds me of Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. But anyway, I think we should post a trailer on Discord and see what others have to say about it, because I hope we are wrong in saying that it's not good because of some of the things that we talked about. I hope they do a good job of showing us, Wonka becoming Wonka.
Yeah.
So. All right. Before we continue, I do want to remind you that this episode of Podketeers is brought to you by a fantastic group of listeners known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to go to podketeers.com/FGP. There you will find a link to our Patreon, a list of some of our top contributors, a little info on the FGP Squad, and more. If you have any questions, though, you feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. But being a part of the FGP Squad family gets you some additional perks, like access to a special section on Discord, discount codes on Podketeers gear whenever we have new stuff put up in the store, random mailings and giveaways, and access to our happy hour calls, plus some additional content that we've uploaded to Patreon as well. So if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And, of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. Oogie Boogie Bash, we talked a little bit about the problems that people were having, getting their tickets purchased and stuff like that. And Disney said, hey, we're going to come back and we're going to do it on this day. So people had another chance of going back. You posted a really interesting photo in our text thread a few days ago, Mel. You want to describe it for everyone?
Sure. Hold on. I need to take a moment because this was kind of frustrating. If you guys could imagine, trying to get tickets, I didn't do this. I think I'm probably speaking for those who were waiting 11 hours, and some people still didn't get tickets. So when I sent this picture, there was some colorful words, because I was like, are you kidding me? So I found out on Threads that tickets for Oogie Boogie Bash are selling on eBay for an extra $100 to $200, and that is frustrating to see. So frustrating. There's tickets going as far as $1,500 or more for 4 tickets, and it's ridiculous. That's a nice way to say it. Is ridiculous.
It's a really nice way of saying it.
Yes, I am
Because I had some
trying.
choice words when we talked about this.
I am trying. The Okay, so the whole thing, everything, all the dates, they sold out within 11 hours. That's crazy because Oogie Boogie Bash used to have tickets for a while until they sold out. So this is madness. And I mean, I don't know. I really thought Disney was going to be good because it took 3 tries for this to happen. So it really, really, really stinks. I am trying. it really stinks to see this happen. It's like, one, I hope those tickets never sell. I'm gonna put it out there. If you guys see them on eBay, do not buy them. Do not do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just wait for next year. Just don't do it because it is not worth doing that. If you're gonna buy tickets that expensive, you're better off just getting a hotel room at the Disneyland, resort. Getting them, you could get tickets day of. There you go, and you might as well enjoy your money.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm looking right now on eBay, and the most expensive one I can find is here are 2 tickets for Halloween night, $1,000.
Nope, absolutely not.
Here's one
tickets?
which makes no sense. Hold on. This one is bananas. 3 tickets for September 26th. It has 11 bids on it. Highest bid $810 for three tickets for September.
No.
It's not even like there's
Here's
the
the problem with this, okay? One, we know that there is a huge business with buying a lot of these items out. It even happens with general merchandise, right? And the scalpers try to sell them on eBay at these overblown prices. In some cases, if you just wait a month, the thing will restock. I understand that this is an event. However, keep in mind that whenever there is an event like this, your tickets are not transferable. If your tickets are sold, there is a clause when you purchase the tickets that says that if you cannot give them away, you cannot sell them, just like merch that you buy with your discount with your pass, right? Or your magic key, sorry. You can't transfer them to other people, especially once they've been activated or something. So there is a possibility that those tickets will get canceled by Disney. And if you spend $1,600 on tickets on eBay and then you end up going to Disneyland, try to get in the day that you think you're going to Oogie Boogie Bash, and Disney says, oh, no, this isn't you. Sorry, you can't come into the event. You just wasted $1,600. And if you tell them, oh, but I bought them on eBay, then they really won't help you. You're out $1,600. So be careful buying especially tickets for events when it comes to any Disney thing. Remember that Disney keeps an eye on these, and they tend to find a way somehow to block the tickets or to figure out how to make them unusable. And remember that whenever you buy stuff like this, there is a clause that makes them non-transferable. So I'm surprised that these have been up as long as they have, but please don't look for the tickets. Like Mel said, just wait for next year. I guarantee you that 98% of what was happening at Oogie Boogie Bash this year will be the same next year. I guarantee
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Here's the most expensive one I found. I think I didn't say it. 2 tickets for $2,000 for Halloween night.
Ugh.
$1,000 a ticket. I think they were like $189 at the most.
Yeah.
If you're able to get that, it's $1,000. It has 12 watchers. That's buy it now price. The ones that crack me up are here's the one that is it's $1,000 for 2 passes on Halloween. They have the gall to still charge $5 shipping to ship.
Wow. Wow. Woo.
That's funny.
Oh,
Seriously.
man. Well, listen, I know that we've had issues, and we talk about some of these merch scalpers, in past episodes, but I thought they went crazy when the Figment bucket was selling for, a couple $100 at a time. But this takes the cake. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this before.
Nope.
That's
which
rent.
those are still
Wow.
those are still selling for high prices on eBay, which is bananas because you can just get them now at you just can't get like last year's version or something. They're $260 for a popcorn bucket on eBay. You brought it up, and I figured I'd look it up.
Sheesh. Hey, did you know that Cinemark is going to have a Madame Leota popcorn bucket?
Ooh.
I sure did. I'm all in on the seeing all these movie popcorn bucket things seem really cool. So yeah, that one, it looks like it lights up, which is cool.
I didn't know that it lit up, but if you end up going and getting one, please send me a Venmo request because I want one.
What chain has those?
Cinemark.
All right, that's the one I go to regularly, so you got it.
We will give you money.
Nice.
You got it. I'm like three
like
popcorn buckets. I'm sitting here watching the movie with three. I guess I could get it afterwards.
Should I pay extra overnight shipping so that you could send it with the popcorn?
With the popcorn fresh.
Yeah.
Put in a bag.
Whatever you need, you got it.
$400. Let's see. Hey, I want to hear a little bit about how your parks visit went. Before we get to the news that we held off this episode for. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
How did your trip go? You watched Rogers, didn't you?
I sure did. We had a full trip. We were there for 4 days. That's the longest we've done in a while. We went with my aunt, uncle, and cousin, and it was her first time. She's 8. So it's kind of nice getting to see, bring an 8-year-old for her first time to Disneyland. And my aunt and uncle hadn't been in a long time, so they were, hadn't seen anything, a World of Color. And so my uncle's there with like a big old grin on watching World of Color. And he's like, that was real cool. And it's very fun to bring people and, when they haven't seen things or, they haven't been to Disneyland in so long and things have changed a lot. Radiator Springs Racers blew their mind. He's like, I can see why they went and rode it a second time and paid the lightning lane the $20 or whatever a piece so they could ride it again with no wait because they liked it so much. So we got to take them to Runaway Railway, all the new stuff, Rise of Resistance. It was a good trip, but yeah, we got to see Rogers the Musical. Me and my wife, we saw it actually same day Larry and Rebecca saw it. Saturday. I saw our tickets, our passes are all linked, so I can see when people are in the park and stuff.
That's the best.
And, yeah, and we actually saw it twice on Saturday because we got there and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to sell out. If it's how it's selling. We'll try and get the premium viewing package. We'll roll up there and see if there's any left. We'll buy it. Just to give ourselves the 100% chance that we'll get to see it. So we did, and we got there, and only the last showing was available, and there's only like 20 badges left. So we got in, paid $29.99 for the premium viewing package, and included with that you get a Rogers the Musical popcorn bucket, a bottled soda or water of your choice, a photo pass thing, like there's like a photo standee kind of thing. You hold Captain America's shield, and what else? And you get like a little lanyard with a badge on it, and it says Rogers the Musical premium viewing. So that was all $29.99. But we also got a just the regular return time for it, the what do you call it, the virtual queue in that. So we got one for 2:00 and one for 5:00. So we got in the virtual queue. I think it's like all the other virtual queues where it says come back. It'll tell you when to come back. So they kind of are staggering people getting into line. So if you got in early in the queue, you kind of can get in early in the regular queue. The musical itself, very fun. It clips along pretty good. It's like 30-ish minutes, but it feels pretty short, so it doesn't feel like you're sitting there for forever. Hyperion Theater is great. Love the Hyperion Theater. What can I say? I don't know what I was expecting. I think I got basically what I was expecting. I was surprised that they do this little. There'll be like vague spoilers in this. So if you're trying to, if you think you're gonna wait to see Rogers the Musical, maybe skip ahead 5 minutes or so. But the vaguest spoilers coming up. But and I know the two of you aren't gonna see it anytime soon, so I'm not worried about spoiling it for you. But They do this thing where it's like they kind of flash through the like battles of that Captain America does. It's during the like reprise of the Save Our City song that we saw from Hawkeye, and they go over like, okay, save New York City, okay, save what is it, Sokovia, Wakanda, and they don't touch on the events of Endgame at all in the musical, which I thought was an interesting choice. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's just a time thing. They didn't want to get too into all the who knows what. But it was good. There's some weird stuff going on with it that I noticed that I don't know if regular audience goers would have noticed. There are like 6 speaking roles in the show. So you have Steve Rogers, you have Peggy Carter, you have Nick Fury, you have, I guess so it's 7, 8. You have Steve Rogers, Nick Fury, Peggy Carter. There's the 3. They're the, what are they called? Starkettes or something like that. These are like the kind of Greek chorus. They're kind of commenting on stuff. And then Bucky is a character, and Captain America, like they do like there's 2 characters for that. So there's 8 characters that speak in the show, but there's many other actors on stage that do stuff and in theory sing. But the only people that have microphones to sing are those 8 characters. So in the beginning, like before Nick Fury's introduced, the same actor plays like a colonel or something, and Bucky then goes and plays like the guy that sings the Save Our City song. They're kind of playing a couple different roles, these people. But it's interesting that If you think of Aladdin Musical Spectacular or Frozen Live at the Hyperion, things like that you've seen before, everybody in the cast was singing the whole time, and if they had a line to say, they would say it and whatever. In this, all of the background vocals and everything are all pre-recorded. And there are actually a couple like lines that were pre-recorded that ensemble members would just like lip sync to, and it was very, very obvious to me. I get where they're going with this. This is like a temporary show, and I can see the temporariness of it, or limited timeness of the show itself, just by how it's built and how it's everything done with it. So that was just another interesting thing that I'm guessing that contracts being what they are, if you are a dancer versus having like, dancer background person versus having lines, they might have to pay you less or something. So they decided, well, all these background people don't actually need to sing. We're not giving them mics, so we can pay them less than the people that have speaking roles. So that's my theory on why it's done like that. I don't know for sure. It's kind of stinky if that's the reason they're doing that. But it was just kind of weird to see like lip synced vocal like lines said in the show. It was something like a character came up and was like, "Hey Peggy, what's going on?" And she's like something and like punches him in the face or whatever it was. It's some of these weird little throw off lines, but for me, the standout of the show is Nick Fury. I think that section of the show or his character could be definitely expanded if they were to try and make a fuller version of this show, either for, community groups to do or take it on tour or whatever. This show would, it's only 30 minutes. It needs to be expanded. Most Broadway shows are about 2.5 hours. So you still got 2 hours to add. And my suggestion would be to lean into the comedy and the camp of it, instead of trying to be like uber serious. Like the Nick Fury character is kind of similar to, of all the characters in the show, kind of similar to the genie in Aladdin Musical Spectacular, kind of doing little comments and stuff like that. And his song is fun. But yeah, I had a great time. I think if you get the chance to see it, go see it. I don't really recommend, unless you're going to buy the popcorn bucket anyway, and you want a soda, and you really, really want like that first couple of rows, then go ahead and buy the premium viewing package, because I think the popcorn bucket is already like $12 or $15, and then you get a $5 soda. So of your $30, there's half of it already. So you're kind of paying the rest of it in just the fee for the seating, if you kind of break it down that way. If you're already going to buy those things, then maybe it's a little more worth it for you. But there seems to be quite a lot, at least when I saw it anyway, quite a lot of standby viewing available in the balcony. The whole balcony was basically empty the 2 times I saw it. So the Hyperion has 3 levels: the orchestra, which is the ground floor, then the mezzanine, which is the middle level, and then the balcony, which is all the way up. And if you're just wanting to see it, and you don't care where you sit, standby is an option. You could probably roll up there right towards the end of, right before their seating, and, get in the balcony, no problem. And without the virtual queue or anything. The virtual queue is very easy to get in, and there's 2 times to get the virtual queue as well. So I'd give all those options a chance first. If you don't want to spend any money, I think you'll have an easy time getting in, even if it's just the standby line. You might sit in the up high, but you should be able to see everything still fairly well. So yeah, that's kind of the nickel tour of that. The songs were good. The songs they added were good. I could go into a lot more depth on set design and lighting design and things, but I don't think I need to do that. So yeah, I recommend anybody to go see Rogers the Musical. It was fun. I only recommend the premium viewing package if you really, really want to get those first couple of rows in the orchestra section. If not, you should be able to get in no problem with the free options.
Right on. Well, I mean, it is disappointing that it's lip syncing. It really looked from some of the, I don't know, I guess they were just photos and stuff that we had seen before.
Well,
right?
some stuff is, and there's all the background is lip syncing. All the main characters, so Steve Rogers is singing and Peggy's singing, and all those characters are singing live.
Got it, okay.
It's just all the background stuff. So the actors playing that are singing are doing a great job singing. So another half spoiler, there's 2 people that play Steve Rogers because he gets, transformed. And so there's like a short guy and then there's like a tall guy. Right. And one guy's hair's blonde and the other guy's hair's brown. So I guess the super soldier makes your hair brown. I don't know. But so yeah, they all sing very well. That all that stuff is live singing and stuff like that. It's just there's a couple of little weird things. If you watch it, if you don't get a chance to see it, watch it on YouTube. You'll kind of hear like some of these things that they're very just like, they seem to stand out a lot to me. But then again, this is what I do for a living, so it's stuff that I would really notice, I would think. So who knows? But the show is good regardless. And yeah, all the performers that are singing live all did a great job. The Starkettes or whatever, I forget what they're called. I think that's what they're called. They're very funny. And I could go for a lot more of them too. They were very funny. I could just be a Nick Fury in the Starkettes show, get Captain America out of there. I'd be completely fine with it.
That's funny. I mean, they could do a spin-off, right? We're always looking for new...
Yeah, Nick Fury the musical.
Right. Always looking for new Disney Plus content.
There we go.
All right. Any other cool stuff to report while you were down in the parks?
I don't know. It was sad. Soren was closed when we were there. It's got stuff. A lot of stuff's down for refurb. I was surprised, like Soren's closed during the summer. With it being the summer and all, and things being busy. But well, what can you do? And Alice was down, but it was under refurb as well. Lots of stuff under refurb. Like facades and stuff, but didn't affect much. Indy's looking great. It's so funny. Like the first ride through we did, everything worked perfect. It was great.
Nice.
And the second ride through, boulder walls aren't working today. It's so funny how things work and don't work with lots of Disneyland attractions. But it was interesting being there for 4 days. I haven't done that in a while. 3 days is usually the limit. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything. There's still lots of merch out there for the Disney 100, the Eras collection. They have a lot of the signposts and all the things that I had to make sure I bought. I should have just bought when I was there. I got to discount my mouse scar.
Oh, you got it? Nice.
Trophy. Oh, I bought that online. I said, I have to get this. I think this is really cool. And I bought it. He's sitting right there. There he is. But then I have the studio sign, the studio lot sign with the Dopey Avenue and Mickey Way or whatever. I don't know. Mickey Avenue and Dopey Drive. There we go.
There you go.
But they have tons of those if you're still looking. There's some interesting stuff there that I thought was funny, that I might use for a Shop Disney game in the future. I took a picture of it. But yeah, we did a character breakfast at the Storytellers Cafe in the Grand Californian. That was nice, a little pricey, but it was, again, my cousin's first time, so we did lots of things that I wouldn't normally do. So it was also my first time using Genie Plus, because they pre-bought their tickets with Genie Plus, so that was an interesting system to use, and definitely worth it in California Adventure, especially if you're trying to get on some of those big rides. It was great using that for Spider-Man and Toy Story for sure. We didn't go on Guardians because none of us were interested in being dropped from a tower, so that was fine. But and they used it for Grizzly too. Grizzly River Run, so it was definitely worth it for DCA. And then Disneyland, we didn't use it a ton, but when we did it was nice. But the rides that you would want to use it on are the paid ones, the Mickey and Minnie's and Rise. But it still worked. I mean, if you're and we have special circumstances that we have in our group, too, so that makes things a little easier at Disneyland. But anyway, yeah, it was interesting using Genie Plus for the first time, and yeah, I don't know. I think that's enough. I can't think of a ton. It's all been kind of it's all been kind of like a blur of. It was just a lot of days. That's why I was trying to make sure to take some pictures and stuff like that, so I can hopefully remember some of it.
Right on. Well, I think it's time to jump into the little bit of news that came out today before we wrap up the episode with some great moments with Mr. Andrew. And the news that broke today is that Bob Iger, to the surprise of not many of us, has extended his contract with the Disney company to lead through the end of 2026.
What? I never would have guessed that he was not. I'm so surprised that Bob Iger. I don't know why I was turning into Moira from Schitt's Creek, but I'm not surprised, David, that Bob Iger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not surprised is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think I'm surprised that people were surprised. Like, What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
This is why we kept saying 2+. There's an asterisk. I'm pretty sure there was a tiny one that some people didn't see when they announced the first time he was coming back.
Yeah.
Bobby's gonna stay until things get better. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully things will get better. Great. Hopefully things, we don't have, I don't know. No, I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna go rant. All right. We just knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's lots to rant about, right? I don't know. I'm going to do my
Yes.
best to not start one right now, but listen,
Right.
you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, we were saying this from the very beginning that he came back. 2 years was not going to be enough for him to clean up a lot of the messes that, listen, he kind of left some of these messes behind himself, right? He's just kind of cleaning up some of the stuff that he left behind. Obviously, there were some messes that Bob Chapek left behind that he has to clean up as well. And, the company's in a much different place where it was 4 years ago. The economy is much different than it used to be. The writer's strike is going on right now. And by the way, just quickly to comment on the writer's strike, support the writers that are on strike because the way that they are being treated by some of these major companies is crap. We enjoy a lot of really great content, and even if you don't enjoy it, like, not all content is for everyone, right? But the way that they're being treated and what their demands are not unreasonable, so
Right.
we stand behind the writers. I hope that they're able to work something out, and that the rumors of the company saying that they're just going to try to hold off until everyone has to come begging back for their jobs because they're losing their homes. I really hope it doesn't come to something like that, because we all enjoy content. I know that we are content creators, and this is where it becomes a little, weird, because we're not officially writers in any type of union, but there is a lot of preparation that goes into creating stuff like this. And honestly, if we were to ever connect with anyone in the industry, or anyone that we've ever connected with in the industry, it is these people that create the content, that work on the projects, that, they themselves are the boots on the ground for the stuff that goes on, especially with the Disney company. So, I fully support the strike that's happening. I hope that the writers are able to get their fair share. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to make sure that we put that out there. But yeah, I mean, the writer's strike and everything is going on right now. So there's a lot of stuff for Bob Iger to clean up right now. The most obvious thing is that there's been such a turnover. Two of the most recent execs to leave the Disney company were Christine McCarthy, who was the chief financial officer. We've shared how we feel about her and some of the comments that she's made. So, she's gone. One of the more surprising departures from the Disney company was an exec named Latondra Newton. She was Disney's chief diversity officer, I believe. There's a lot of holes that have to get filled in. I know that there's some restructuring going on. There's some stuff going on with ESPN that has to be, they have to figure out how they're going to handle. There was a ton of layoffs at ESPN that many were surprised about recently. And on top of all of that, they created the task force to find a successor for Bob Iger, and they say they've made no headway. But I'm pretty certain that Josh D'Amaro is being groomed to be the successor for Bob Iger. There have been many photos and videos of them in the parks together, and they've been seen at many events and things. So that's not a coincidence. I know that they work very closely together, and that Josh D'Amaro is very passionate about the parks, but it's not a coincidence that they're being seen together so much. So I'm pretty certain that Josh is the guy that they're really working on grooming for that position next. But, only time will tell. I'm sure that, he's not going to get thrown in the deep end the way that Bob Chapek was, because we saw where that led us. I guess Josh will have the advantage of not dealing with, this once in a century pandemic that Bob Chapek had to deal with when he first came in. Although the pandemic is still kind of going on, things have changed to where they were 3 or 4 years ago, right? So
Right.
Josh D'Amaro is picking up in a place where Bob Chapek could have only dreamed of picking up at. So it would be a very, very different company to deal with, because you're not going to have to be dealing with park closures and all of that stuff the way that Chapek did. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 2 years. Again, like you said, I was more surprised at the people that were surprised that it was extended because we all kind of saw it. Like, we weren't the only ones that speculated that this was going to happen. It was a pretty popular theory. As soon as they said he's only here for 2 years, we're like, no, he's not. So
tiny asterisk.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts on Bob Iger's contract getting extended. If you haven't joined the community yet, again, podketeers.com/links is the best way to find the invite to join us over on Discord. On that page, you'll also find some of the most common links that we get asked about, including our latest episode, the Quizneyland playlist, links to our YouTube channel and Larry's YouTube channel, Goofy Guys Adventures. Whenever we're doing special events or we have sales on fundraising things, you'll also see that stuff on the links page. So bookmark it, make it a homepage button on your phone. It's the cool thing that all the cool kids are doing. So do what the cool kids are doing, or not. I mean, do what you want. It's up to you. But that's what I did. You don't have to do it. You probably won't, but it's fine. But if you do, let me know. I think I'll just get a kick out of it. Anyhow, I think it's time to start wrapping up this episode, and as we've been doing since the beginning of the 100 Years of Wonder celebration for the Disney Company, we've had our own little tribute segment where we've had some facts and running down the Disney timeline of some of the most important things that have happened in the company's 100 years in a little segment we like to call Great Moments with Mr. Andrew with Mr. Andrew.
That's me, folks. Hello, Mr. Andrew here. I am Willy Wonka. This is how I am acting in the
Timothy
trailer.
Chalamet.
I'm Timothy Chalamet here, acting and doing all the Willy Wonka thing. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, Great Moments with Mr. Andrew. Me. That's me. The years are 1977 and 1978. We'll get through this pretty quick, folks. Not like it's, this is a nice thing to hear, but we can get through it fairly quickly anyway. But I need to zoom it out because I have bad eyes, apparently. 4 feature films in 1977. We have January 21st, Freaky Friday. March 11th, The Littlest Horse Thieves and The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. June 22nd, The Rescuers. June 21st, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. November 3rd, Pete's Dragon. November 16th, Candle Shoe. December 17th, Donald Duck's Summer Magic. Also, on May 1st, 1977, the first public screening of Star Wars was held at the North Point Theater in San Francisco. The film was a huge success for 20th Century Fox and was credited for reinvigorating the company. Within 3 weeks of the film's release, the studio's stock price had doubled to a record high. The film was number 1 at the U.S. box office for its first 3 weeks. It was replaced by The Deep, but gradually added screens and returned to number 1 in its 7th week, building up to $7 million weekends as it entered wide release. That is $33.8 million in 2022 dollars, and remained number 1 for the next 15 weeks. It replaced Jaws as the highest earning film in North America just 6 months into its release, eventually earning over $220 million in its initial theatrical run. That is $1.06 billion in today's dollars. Star Wars entered international release towards the end of the year, and in 1978, added the worldwide record to its domestic one, earning $410 million in total. Its biggest international market was Japan. For TV in 1977, on January 16th, the Disney Studio launches a new series of the all-new Mickey Mouse Club on TV. Also this year, the CBN cable network, which will eventually become Freeform, debuts. NBC also airs 12 episodes of The Wonderful World of Disney. For theme parks in 1977, on January 2nd, the Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland in Disneyland closes to begin its transformation into Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. In March, the official name of the Disney theme park in Japan is selected, Tokyo Disneyland. On May 1st, the Empress Lily Riverboat, a 19th century Mississippi sternwheeler, is christened by Lillian Disney. The riverboat sits in Lake Buena Vista in the Walt Disney World Village. On May 4th, Space Mountain opens at Disneyland. Estimated cost to build, $20 million. Along with it opens the Starcade, the Space Stage, and the People Mover Super Speed Tunnel. On May 27th, Space Mountain is dedicated. And on June 11th, the Main Street Electrical Parade premieres at Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. And around that same time, the Main Street Electrical Parade reopens at Disneyland after being updated. So we did have two Main Street Electrical Parades running simultaneously. In November, the Sleeping Beauty Castle walkthrough attraction is redesigned. And also this year, the Very Merry Christmas Parade debuts at Disneyland. And the Golden Bear Lodge restaurant at Disneyland is renamed Hungry Bear Restaurant. Other notable events of 1977. On January 1st, Bob Allen is promoted to Vice President of Walt Disney World. On March 4th, Roy E. Disney quits as Vice President of Walt Disney Productions, but keeps his stock and remains on the Board of Directors. On March 11th, in the case of the Sierra Club against the U.S. Forest Service over Disney's proposed Mineral King ski resort, Judge Swinehart dismisses the suit for lack of prosecution, as his last involvement had been in 1972. After 12 years in the courts with much negative public opinion, the project is essentially abandoned. Also this year, Hallmark releases its first Disney-themed Hallmark keepsake ornament featuring Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. James Jamero proposes Disney create a cable television channel exclusively for Disney content. And Wayne Allowayne replaces Jimmy McDonald as the voice of Mickey Mouse. Birthdays for 1977, we have January 13th, Orlando Bloom. January 31st, Bobby Moynihan. February 2nd, Shakira. April 14th, Sarah Michelle Gellar. October 18th, Peter Sohn. And November 24th, Colin Hanks. And notable deaths of 1977, September 13th, conductor Leopold Stokowski. That brings us to 1978. For films in 1978, on February 21st, the Academy nominates the film Pete's Dragon for 2 Oscars, one in the category Music, Original Song, Score, and its adaptation or Best Adaptation Score, and also the song Candle on the Water in the category Music, Original Song. They also nominate the song Somebody's Waiting for You from the film The Rescuers in the category Music, Original Song. The National Board of Review awards a special award to the Walt Disney Studios for the film The Rescuers. Films released in 1978, March 10th, Return from Witch Mountain. June 9th, The Cat from Outer Space. July 5th, Hot Lead, Cold Feet. And September 30th, Mickey's Birthday Party Show. For TV in 1978, on September 13th, NBC airs the special NBC Salutes the 25th anniversary of the Wonderful World of Disney. On November 19th, Mickey's 50th airs on NBC. And on December 1st, the last episode of the new Mickey Mouse Club TV show airs. And NBC also airs 10 episodes of the Wonderful World of Disney. For theme parks in 1978, in June, the Matterhorn bobsleds at Disneyland reopens after improvements having been made to the interior, adding the Abominable Snowmen, 3 of them, and an ice cavern with glowing crystals and snowstorms. And on September 1st, the Stage Door Cafe restaurant opens in Frontierland at Disneyland. Other notable events of 1978. In January, longtime Disney animators and members of the Nine Old Men and Disney legends Ollie Johnson and Frank Thomas retire on the same day. On April 9th, the University of Southern California chapter of the Delta Kappa Alpha National Honorary Cinema Fraternity recognizes the 9 Old Men with the Pioneer in Film Award. Also this year, the Franklin Mint produces a 24-karat gold on sterling silver pendant to mark the 50th birthday of Mickey Mouse. Also, Mark Davis retires, having worked for Disney for 43 years. On November 3rd, Mickey Mouse is given a gold star on Hollywood Boulevard's Walk of Fame, the first cartoon character ever to be honored so. On November 13th, a special Amtrak train carrying Mickey Mouse and Ward Kimball leaves Los Angeles for a 5-day trip to New York. Also in November, Life magazine features Mickey Mouse on the cover of its disco issue. On November 18th, a commemorative plaque is installed on the Broadway Theater, formerly the Colony Theater in New York, marking the 50th anniversary of the premiere of the film Steamboat Willie. And on December 16th, Disney first releases some films on video disc. Birthdays for 1978, January 24th, Kristen Schaal. February 7th, Ashton Kutcher. May 10th, Kenan Thompson. May 22nd, Jennifer Goodwin. July 6th, Tia and Tamara Mowry. August 18th, Andy Samberg. August 25th, Kel Mitchell. September 18th, Billy Eichner. October 14th, Usher. And notable deaths of 1978, July 26th, Disney legend Mary Blair, and August 24th, Louis Prima. I just noticed that I also forgot to, I'll just jump back into this, when I talk about Mark Davis, also Disney legend, famed Imagineer Mark Davis, not just Mark Davis, and member of the Nine Old Men, Mark Davis. So that has been great moments with Mr. Andrew for 1977 and 1978.
Right on. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up the episode. We got a Quizneyland later this week, right?
Yep, Quizneyland will be coming out. This is pushed out, so Quizneyland will get pushed out, but we got some fun stuff in Quizneyland. There'll be some questions on all kinds of fun stuff, like...
stuff.
But I think we'll talk about the Baroque Hoedown. We'll talk about Pete's Dragon... and movie premieres that happen at the Hyperion Theater, and some voice actors. So that'll be it's going to be a fun episode.
Right on. All right. Well, we can look forward to that later this week. I think that's a perfect place to wrap it up. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Part of the Podketeers Network.